Hi, Curtis here, creator of Masked Avenger, The Invincible Man, and The Quitters. This is a live stream of me creating Matt, the main character from Masked Avenger, into a 3D model. So I'm just going to quickly let my Facebook people know that I'm streaming. So yeah, I've gotten pretty far. I almost finished the head, except like the modeling part looks pretty finished. And then also, I started on a body, nothing's to scale. So yeah. So I'm just going to let Facebook know about this. And then, yeah. So it should just take a second here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the head. I'd say the likeness is pretty much spot on. Very happy with it. So yeah, and then hopefully today I'll be able to finish the hands and the feet. So we'll see how that goes. And then, yeah. Okay, so got everything uploaded. So what's going on? Okay, so here we are. So this is the head, looking pretty solid from most angles. I think I'll just have to add a little bit more to the eyebrows. I added some volume to the hair so that when he spins to the side right here, it juts out a little bit, and from the front view, like the sideburns actually stick out a little bit, so it looks a lot better there. And then I did the neck, body, and didn't do the feet yet, and the hands are quite deformed right now, so I'll probably work on those second. I want to work on the feet first, though. So just need to grab my reference for feet here. Yeah, it's been really good so far modeling the character. Pretty happy with it. So let's go into, I think our max is wild. So what we're going to do is extrude this. So we'll extrude it out. I'll have to definitely scale things kind of after the fact. And then I guess I need a vert there. So yeah. So hopefully the feet go nice and quick. We'll see how they turn out. So there we go. And make this into a face. Yeah, it's been really nice using reference for this. Very helpful. Watched part of a tutorial. Technically not done watching it yet, so we'll see how that goes. My stuff usually starts off looking like a mess and then gets better a little ways in, so here's to hoping. Okay, so the bottom's created. I could probably go, yeah, straight across. So, yeah. So we had some big changes recently, like I mentioned on our Nordstrom page and everything, that we separated the Nordstrom Universe and the Nordstrom Creations page, which was kind of nice. Allows us to be a little bit more free and be ourselves a little bit more on the page as we have. So Kara kept the Nordstrom Creations name, and then I took Nordstrom Universe, just saying that it's kind of like an animated universe, I guess. And yeah, I would say the official launch went pretty well. Just get my reference back up here, which I was pretty happy about. And yeah, we sent out a bunch of invites, got some people following, so that was pretty good. It's been a lot of changes. Hopefully this weekend, if all works out, we're going to be able to get a domain name for Nordstrom Universe. So see how that goes. And then, yeah. And then I'll officially launch the website hopefully this weekend or early next week, something like that. So, yeah. And then still working on the film, The Invincible Man. That's my 2D animated film. That's coming along really good. The main character is having some pretty big problems right now. He basically lost everything, and so it's a very difficult point in his life. So I need to subdivide that 3 times. So yeah, pretty excited where that's going. Oops, I should select edges. Yeah, and then hopefully once I create this model, I'll be able to do an animated short. There is some there is some stuff I'm gonna have to work on story-wise. What'll happen in the 3D kind of world? Definitely. A lot's changing in my universe, so it might determine whether or not I like how I retcon that or how I adapt the 3D to my story, or if I keep making 2D at all. So I'm really trying to think this through, and just kind of see what's going to work best. So we'll see how it goes. To be honest, I'm not sure totally what I'm doing yet. I have some ideas, but I mean, if I could, I'd love to make a 3D animated film. I don't know if I'm biting off more than I can chew with this little experience, but the 2D film's gone pretty good, and I've done that entirely by myself. So I definitely have the confidence to do something like this if I can keep the models and stuff simple enough. Looking at making a 2D animated film. The only thing is, I would collaborate with people and try and invite people. The only dilemma, though, is that I work at a pretty breakneck speed, to be honest, because I'm doing this full time. So as long as the person I'm working with can kind of keep up, and that's not in like a they're slow kind of way, it's just how fast I work, and you know, you have quality standards, but like I also have get it done kind of standards as well. So for me, a lot of it would revolve around just getting stuff done on a timely manner. So I don't know if that would be difficult for a 3D modeler to keep up with. It'd be nice to get some help though with assets and stuff like that. Characters, I don't know if I would want too much help on, just because I want to keep the characters in my style. But I mean, if it came down to like rigging or something like that, I mean, there's definitely potential there for needing help. So just gotta figure out what the heck's going on here. Okay, so it's this one I want to grab. So yeah, it's just one of those things where as long as the person could keep up, I'd almost feel bad for them if, you know, and not that I would push them hard, but like I said, I'm able to do this kind of full time. So yeah, pretty exciting changes. The website's, yeah, like I said, it's all finished, ready to go. I've been uploading the live streams onto the website, so you can see the previous ones there. But the domain name will change soon, so that's why I didn't want to put too many links in talking about the new website if I'm going to change it kind of right away. So I'm just trying to get the basic shapes here during this stream. So I think this needs to come forward. Kind of like that, and then it needs a bit of a heel. But it would be nice to collaborate with someone maybe on the film. I'm not sure. I'd probably do all the writing and stuff. I would just need people to maybe help make assets or help animate or whatever. I'm not sure. Feels like it should be easier than ever to do that nowadays. Work with someone that's not necessarily close to you. Like physically, not emotionally or anything. But we'll see. We'll see how well my short goes. Like I said, I'm going to do a short first, just to test it out and understand how camera works. I have this nice book about cinematography I picked up a while ago. That wasn't too how do you say it? It didn't matter much to the style of animation I've been doing till now, because it is so simple. Like camera stuff doesn't really matter with my particular style of 2D animation. So yeah, so now I'll actually have to figure out how cameras work a little bit better, which has been a little bit intimidating. I think I'd have to actually plan out my shots now. So instead of doing like an entire kind of scene at one time, I'll have to do maybe shot by shot kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm just trying to get stuff roughly where it belongs right now. Yeah, this is my first 3D model. I've played around in 3D here and there, but never really tried to make like a person, I would say. So we'll see how this goes. Lighting seems a little bit intimidating as well, I would say overall. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to research. I recommend you start with base mesh for that human maker to make that. I recommend you start with base mesh, and for that I recommend human maker to that. It's impressive that a 2D artist can do such things. Generally, a 3D artist can't draw much. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, 3D is almost more like sculpting, right? Like, it's not necessarily that you need to know how to draw per se. I think there is some elements to art though, is that you need an eye regardless. So whether it's 2D or Zane, whether it's 2D or 3D, I think you still need an eye for things. And you need an artist's eye even if you can't draw. I draw okay. I've done some posters recently that turned out good. They're the first drawings I actually really did that that I've really put a lot of effort into and finished and made look really good. I drew a lot as a kid, but yeah, definitely huge indent right there. But yeah, 3D modeling, I took industrial design in high school. Like, we had majors in high school, and I chose industrial design, and I did make some 3D stuff. Like, it was a long time ago, like 2000 and 2001. But I made like just a little spaceship 3D model within 2 weeks. So I think I do excel at 3D, but like it was nothing like this. It was very basic. Like, most people are just learning how to use the program, and I was making 3D models or trying to, or whatever. But yeah, I do understand some of the stuff. How's this looking from the bottom? Oh, that's way off. There we go. I just want to get the sole of his foot looking right. So the thing with me when I drew 2D stuff is none of my anatomy was like you don't have to. I didn't personally have to study anatomy to be able to make it. So even with this stuff, it is stylized. So I'm not overly hung up on anatomy and stuff like that. But I mean, I want it to look good. I think the key thing is that you get the aesthetics looking nice. So you can have crappy anatomy or crappy whatever. I mean, if you look at comic books from the 90s or whatever, but they looked good then. So so as long as you can kind of trick people's eyes and make it look good, like this needs to come out. But yeah, I've never actually made a person 3D model. The reason I know probably as much as I do is actually just because my brother, I listen to him a lot. He's made many 3D models at this point. Super talented at it. And I've just learned by listening to him, I would say a little bit. Or, I don't know if learned, but I do pay attention to what he's saying, so I kind of have some ideas on what I'm doing. Now, this foot's going to be, I think, way too small by the looks of things. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the foot here. I've never actually... Feet and hands are just, like, when it comes to 2D art, the worst. I am the worst at. So I think the foot kind of goes like this. Kind of goes in and out. So that's really indented. So I'm hoping this is how it works. Like I said, I've never really studied anatomy. This is just kind of going off the top of my head for the most part. And then a little bit of reference photos. So I like my feet with big bulges in the front, kind of, where it kind of arcs up like that. So yeah, I don't know if that base human mesh, I'm not sure if that's what I'm kind of looking for. Like I said, I'm not going to have toes and stuff, so I don't know too much about that that particular app. But I don't mind making it from scratch. What the plan is, it'll be, I'm going to make the 3D models, and then see how big they look. Oh, that's decent size foot. So that's kind of roughly where it is. I'll go in and do all the adjusting and tweaking after. Now I got to work on his little deformed hands. Sorry, they were way worse when I started making them. Like, they looked awful. Now they look kind of awful. Like, they were really awful before. So, just going to save quickly. So, yeah. The new thing with 2.8 that kind of throws me off, like I make 2D animations in Blender, is the unselect. When you select all and then unselect, I don't like that I have to press Alt. I kind of like to the double tap. So there's some stuff that, I mean, I say that now, and maybe in the future I'll be like, double tap, or Alt A is the only way to select. You know, things might change, but right now it's kind of a bit of a nuisance. Okay, so now... just want to select that all, sure that all selected, and then we'll work on his tiny deformed hands. So let's actually do some here. Let's scale the hand. So yeah, my plan is to make just one 3D model. Shift hide. There we go. So my plan is to make one 3D model, and then to basically copy and paste that multiple times until, and then just remake the character with it, and then kind of just use materials more than textures, and kind of keep it really simple, kind of like some animated TV shows. Again, I'm one guy doing all this, so I have to keep it as simple as I can if I'm going to make as much content as I want to with these guys. But the nice thing is, once you've built the assets, here it is. Once you've built the assets, you can really just go with it, right? Like, that's kind of going to be the key thing, is that that I'm going to have an asset library, and I'll be able to make as many or as much stuff as I want. So, and then the animating can go pretty quick, I would say. Not like I've done enough animating where I kind of know where my timelines are. So these two verts are probably the biggest culprits that look like awful. And then these four are pretty narrow. Yeah. Blah. Okay, so now I need to figure out how to unhide the left side. wrench. There we go. Mirror on cage. There we go. Perfect. So I need to see that hand from this angle. Blah. So I think if I kind of make it look like the back, it's already looking like a hand. So that's a little too straight, I think, but we'll figure that out later. See, I want the front to look nice like that, so it'll take a little bit of playing around with, that's for sure. So lower, so it's this one that actually needs to come down. That one. Back view. Okay. So that it looks good. Bottom view? There we go. Yeah, my brother had mentioned using the bottom view, and that was game changing. Bottom and top view. I was trying so hard to just like do everything in two views, but it's like it's kind of game changing learning about top and bottom views. Sometimes it's the little simple things like that can really change how you do something. Yeah, as an artist, hands are definitely the most intimidating thing to draw. It's 3D modeler, you can really get in there and just adjust stuff and tweak stuff, so it's not quite as intimidating. Really hoping this doesn't mess up my other view too much. I was pretty happy with that. So see how this goes. And then hopefully my brother can come over in the next couple days. Oh, it didn't really wreck this view too much, so that's nice. It almost looks like a hand, except for that really weird vertex. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so now I gotta get rid of that try. That's kind of the problem here. Okay, so that's something I'll have to definitely figure out. There's a big indent there. Yeah, that's the outside of his hand again. So I would say the adaptation of this character I really like. It's not exact what he looks like in 2D, but it really feels like the character, if that makes sense. Whereas yeah, I'm really happy with how it feels. Like I said, it's not 100% translation. His nose isn't as pointy. But I would say overall it's a pretty faithful translation as the guy who created the character. The nose is more rounded, I would say, being one of the biggest changes. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out this. I go, what's the back look like? Oh, that's a triangle too. So it feels like I could, yeah, I'll add a vert there, I think. So if I add a vert here, that should allow me to yeah, it was that corner of the hand that was looking really goofy. I think this will work. And then where? Yeah, I'll just have to think this through for a second. Yes, it's -5 where I live, and yes, I'm having a Slurpee. So I think I like this one better. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. So the good news is the back of the hand staying relatively how I want it. It's more just the front of the hand. I'll take some tweaking. This. So there we go. This finger's a little twisted. Looks like you got some broken bones. with the hands, I was just trying to nail kind of one view at a time. I think I should probably just stick to that theory. Hands are kind of the scariest thing. I wanted to keep it till last, but I also wanted to get it done so I didn't think about it at the same time. It's nice not having to think about the most challenging part for a while. I don't know how many more edge loops and stuff I'll add to the hand. I might keep it quite simple. We'll see how it goes. I'd say this is a little bit narrow. And then this view. The thumb is really messed up. I think I might have to add more loops into the fingers. I'm not sure. Well, I kind of just wonder how it'll work for animating this one. It's kind of like that flap of skin here. There we go. Just make it a little bit more rounded. So if that's where the fingers stop, I think that needs to come way down. Like if I go put the 3D cursor where it should. And I think the knuckles need to come out a bit more. Yeah, pretty happy with how it's going so far. Yeah, going back to the comment about 3D artists, one thing I never actually did really, except with a little bit of woodwork, was physical sculpting. So it's a lot different when you are a 2D artist and you have to come into a 3D space. There's a fair bit of adjustment, I would say. The nice thing is I find this kind of more relaxing than 2D art. You can just kind of go at your own pace, and maybe it's also because I'm not on a deadline for my project. This is just something I'm working on the weekends. So I'm not rushing to get it done or in a hurry to finish stuff. I probably should be, because I want to create a movie, right? So that's a lot of assets to create. But yeah, right now I'm pretty just happy with the pace I'm going at. It's nice and calm. So it's nice to take a break from work and just and do this where the pace is not breakneck speeds. But I could see how, as a 3D modeler, you could infinitely play with this stuff and not finish anything. Or you just keep moving verts, you know, and not really commit to finishing. Just try to get stuff remotely where it needs to be. Let's hope that this stays in the shape I want it to. So let's say that that's moved. This is where it's a little funny. So yeah, I think my brother might be coming over this week sometime, so he'll probably give me a few tips again. Kind of wish he'd watch the live streams too, just so that he'd be like, hey, you know, this would make your life easier. He's pretty smart with a lot of this stuff, so. Just telling him I don't want the views, I just want the advice. But I was hoping to finish the hand today. Oh, that root. That's the one. That's way off. So that should almost be more out here. Yeah, I think my brother's been making 3D models for, I'd say, like 12 or 15 years. So he really helped me with the retopo on the last video there, getting it ready for getting all the edge loops and stuff like that cut. So that looks proper. Now this will loop. Could probably scale it in. Now if I look from the top, try to make it a little bit of a circle. So yeah, I think it would be served better if I went like this. Delete faces. And I think it'll look smoother on the silhouette if I do it that way. I think. Yeah, the silhouette's looking a lot better there. Yeah, I would say as creators, it's nice to have someone to work with you. If you can get someone to work with you to bounce ideas off of, to get critiques. Like my brother was texting me last night just to get some critiques and some advice on some character design he was doing. I think having a person like that in your life is borderline essential as a creator. And especially if it's someone you trust with their opinion on, or you know, can objectively critique your work. I think that's kind of huge to have, and that's kind of like what I try to do with my business is I'm always trying to listen to people and help them or encourage them or help them create efficiently so that they can actually accomplish what they want to accomplish. So a lot of my time and effort goes into stuff like that. sometimes people just want someone to talk to about what they're making, right? So because it's exciting to them, and sometimes it's hard even to get family or friends interested, or to get them to respect your work as an artist. It's hard for a lot of people to believe that being an artist is a job. For a lot of years, I was called what I did a hobby. People called what I did was a hobby, but it feels like it's better. There we go. Must have hit a button by accident. So I want to put an edge loop. It doesn't let me. Okay, so it's not going to let me do that. Okay, I just want to take a quick spin around. So there's some stuff I'm going to have to do, like building up the bulge of the hand here, bulge of the thumb. So I'll probably have to add some verts there. Overall, let us see kind of how the hands look. They almost look like hands. Little hands. Oh, they're actually pretty big. So, I would say that they're not rotated properly, though. So if I go back into edit mode, select all. If we go to 7, rotate this way, and probably grab out this way. See how they look. There we go. Now, that one pretty quick. I'm obviously gonna have to tweak them a little bit. They're a little bit wide right here. Yeah, so definitely some tweaking involved there. But we have a full body, even though it looks awful and deformed in some places. Okay, so what I think we'll do, let's unhide this. Let's go to our side view. And now I really want to nail the silhouette of the body. That went really quick doing those hands and feet, 45 minutes. So usually my streams go an hour and a half or so. So I got a bit of reference here. So this kind of thing. What if we add an edge loop here? Add an edge loop here. Okay, there we go. So, and then okay. The main thing I want to do is establish weight. That it actually looks like there's a weight on his body. Sometimes when I pose my characters without reference, it looks like they don't actually have any weight to them. Which maybe sounds like a dumb thing, but it doesn't look like their body weighs anything to them, so that there's no arc to the back or like. Yeah. So sometimes it's good to use reference. I think the key thing though is not to get overly dependent on it when it comes to your style. You definitely want to create your own style. So for making matte here, I've used my own style. I've only used my 2D stuff as reference for the design of the character. But when it comes to anatomy, or when it comes to posing, and in this case his posture, you definitely want it to make it look like he's... See, there should be a little bit more of an arc, and then like sharper up here. So that definitely needs to come in. I'll probably have to add some edge loops in. And this should almost go further back. Oops. Yeah, I don't know what commands you guys have difficulty pressing. For me, it's the AA thing is really hard to get used to. Not being able to have that. Realistically, this character is kind of based on me in high school. You should probably just have awful posture in reality. Yeah, some other things that seem intimidating to you, or to me, was the armpits. It's definitely something. So I think I need to bring the arm a little bit closer. I know typically that people generally make A-frames or T-poses, stuff like that. For me, I wanted the character to look good in the natural rest pose first, and then I'll probably go to A-frame and stuff from there. Yeah, I wanted to really nail this view first. To make sure I get the proportions kind of right, especially arm length, stuff like that. Okay, let's go back to some reference here. I think let's try and nail this front view a little bit. I didn't use as much reference when modeling the body. I just kind of did whatever. So, like there, I might have to add some edge loops. And now is when I kind of go all over the place and just work on what I feel like. So yeah, this is the... Maybe when you do it long enough it'll become more tedious, but this is not horribly unpleasant part for me. Just moving stuff around and making it look nice. It's a very rewarding feeling. I'd say there's a bit more planning in 3D art than 2D, where you really got to think things through or take a second to pause and think about what you're doing. Whereas 2D, I just kind of draw. Whoa. I'd say as long as my computer can support it, I really like working in rendered view. Kind of gives you more of a feel what your character actually looks like. I know it eats up a lot more processing power, but I'm hoping to keep these as low poly as possible. That's his side. Now let's see if I can... See if we can start nailing the hip shape here a little bit. Overall, pretty happy with the character so far, though. And the 3D modeling process has been, I'm going to say, relatively simple till now. Okay, let's actually tab out and kind of see what we're looking at. So the knees looks like he's riding a horse right now. So that'll have to change. Yeah, what else? Definitely gonna have to add some loops in. Have to define the arms here a little bit more near the armpits. They gotta come out a little bit thicker. And they gotta be thicker in the side view. The hand looks like it's swollen, particularly this area. I'd say the hands are almost the size I want them to be, as far as scaling, but and the feet, I would say, are pretty bang on. My character, this one in particular, has giant feet that balloon out. I don't know why I did that, just a choice for aesthetics, even though it doesn't quite make sense. And then I have to define the side of the legs. So I gotta nail the front and then nail the side. So let's try the side view here. Okay, so his knees should be slightly bent. Let's actually select everything here. Yeah, one thing I've learned from 2D animation is that you definitely want your character in a rest position. You don't really, ideally you don't seem to want, you want a little bit of bend. The armatures seem to like that a little bit better. It's definitely one thing I've noticed. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this his calf. Verts. Let's go like that. And we'll just add an edge loop in here. Probably should add 2 of them, but whatever. And then this loop could be maybe his thigh. So it seems to be good there. So he's not a even though he's a superhero, he's definitely not a muscular one. In fact, technically, he doesn't even have superpowers. So he doesn't need to be a muscular character. But hopefully I'll be able to adapt it. Once I have all the edge loops and everything the way I want it, I'll be able to just quickly adapt it to a different character and then apply the materials. So I'm really hoping that I can pound out a lot of characters in a short period of time. So his legs definitely have to be thicker, and especially on the calves. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I think the problem is that the thigh needs to be thicker here. So he's kind of looking like a human being. Like I said, the hands will need some adjusting and tweaking. I just got to figure out how I'm going to add edge loops there. Right now, that angle. They look very swollen. Oh, I was going to do the arms. Okay, so let's get the silhouette of the arms looking good. I think even in character design, it's very important to make sure you really nail the silhouette of the character. For example, Matt has what people are calling horns, but he's got the pointy hair, which really gives him a bit of character. Whether they call them horns or not, I'm actually kind of indifferent to, because the key thing is that they recognize that and that feature stands out. It's very difficult to have a distinguishing feature. Norman Osborn from the comics would have the cornrow hair, so it's hard to give the character's alias distinguishing features because they're just normal human beings. So what can you do that makes them stand out? And so if people call it horns, I mean, they can call it whatever they want, but in reality, it's something of the character design that really makes it stand out and makes it pop. So goal accomplished. Yeah. Even if you're creating superheroes or whatever you're creating, it's always good to do something to make the character really stand out. Whatever you can, whether it's a logo or like, don't just color swap something that already exists. There's a lot of generic looking heroes out there, especially in the indie world, I would say. One thing that makes this character stand out when he's in costume is definitely his boxers on the outside of his pants. Really makes him stand out. So people find that as a unique thing about him. So yeah, you want to have something that makes your character pop or is recognizable. You want to avoid, if you can, people just saying, oh, that's a Batman clone or a this guy clone or a that guy clone. That being said, some people believe there's no originality in the world at all, which even the Batmans and the Supermans were based on other stuff, which is kind of true. But there is the phrase that if you steal from one artist, it's called plagiarism. If you steal from many, it's called something else, but it's not a bad thing. Whatever it's called. You know. But really, I don't feel like I had a strong influence when I created Master Avenger. That being said, I created him when I was like 14 years old, so it's quite a while ago. But I don't remember any direct influences on his character design. I mean, he's got the standard superhero mask and capes, but not really. I don't really recall like, oh, I really want to base it on this guy or that guy. I think when you're young, it's nice because you just have a lot of creative ideas. So that's something I'll have to fix right there. Yeah, I wish I could make that work somehow. I'll have to figure that out. Like I said, maybe my brother will come down and be like, not in a mean way, but you're doing it all wrong. That's the thing. Sometimes when you pull reference, you don't know if it's good reference or bad reference because you got to think what your application is for, right? So a lot of people model and it looks like they just do stills. I don't see a lot of people animating models on Facebook and stuff like that for Blender. So you really got to know what you're wanting to create when you model. That much I know. You got to have a little bit of foresight that way. So looking for the right kind of reference can be very important too. This one weird. That should be his elbow technically, so that should kind of pop out. Let's see what he looks like. So yeah, he's got really scrawny arms and really scrawny legs. How scrawny. So yeah, my first drawing I have, or the original drawing I have, this is about how big he is in his build. But I don't know if I want to keep him that small. Yeah, I have to think about that here. Just gonna check. Okay. So I think from here, it'll just be a lot of adjusting, which I mean, you could really play with this stuff for kind of hours. So that's just kind of this, where it needs to come out. There we go. Yeah, it's hard to see. There we go. Found a little issue here. There we go. Maybe that'll fix some of the armpit problems I'm having. So I think it's got to taper in a little bit there. It's also got to taper the other way. Let's see what I have here. Something's getting a little messed up. Okay. So we're just past the 1 hour mark. So it looks like that needs to still taper in a bit more. It's not quite what I want yet. There we go. That's starting to look like a proper armpit. So that one. There we go. That's starting to look a bit more like an actual armpit. Okay. I think his shoulder blades could probably come out a little bit more. He's not a super broad-shouldered character, but yeah. I should probably look at the neck, actually. Oh, yeah, the neck definitely needs work. So I think I'll add just an edge loop here to be able to shape that a little bit. Probably kind of get a front view. See what it looks like. So it does flare a little bit, but that. Yeah, I think I might have to watch a little bit more videos just on kind of what happens in the neck area here, just to get a better feel for it. Like that should be his shoulder blade, right? So that kind of comes out. The back of a character is something I've never done in 2D animation, so I think that should work. When you sit, your hands actually arc forward a little bit, it looks like. So what I think I need to do is rotate it a little bit. Oops. There's one vertex I missed when I was doing that. Grab, rotate. Yeah, I'm really hoping that the animating goes well. Lighting, like I said, will be something that's new to me as well. So we'll really see how that goes. So that should help the side view a little bit. His hands are a little bit deformed. So it's good to know that some things I suck at no matter what medium. And the front view, I don't know that I should do the neck thinner. It's definitely that angle needs some work on the neck. So yeah, I'll just see if there's anything else that I want to do today. Might rest a little bit. Oh, okay, so let's do some. Let's do some scaling here. Let's call this his ankle area. Scale that. I think I need to scale the thigh. And let's scale the upper thigh. So he's definitely going to have a bit more definition than my 2D version of him. He already has hips, which is something I didn't draw on last turn. Just goes straight down to his waist. So yeah, that's something that I never really thought about when I used to draw when I was a kid. Is I kind of just ended the hips at the waist. They actually go up and past, especially on women, but on men too. So that was something that I learned. I feel like I'm pretty happy with the proportions, though. I would say that's probably what he looks like. He's got a bigger head. I think in the cartoons I drew him a little bit longer, so... like his legs are a lot longer. But, as long as he doesn't look like a little kid. He needs to look like he's 17 or 18 years old, so... He's even got the indents. So I'll definitely have to work on the chest a little bit and the collarbone. He's not a very defined character, so his build might kind of stay where it is. He looks a little thin on the legs, though. Maybe once I add more verts to his legs. Yeah, I'll have to add more verts or edge loops there so it defines it. Yeah, so it's been an hour 20 minutes. I like to not keep these things go too long. But yeah, that's my mat for my cartoons. I might adjust the skin color a little bit so it's a bit more saturated. And then I want to figure out the hair. Like if you go into materials, materials. Like if I add metallic, let's say, to it, like what does that? Kind of really highlights the. If I increase the metallicness of it, almost makes it a little bit more orange. That looks too metallic, but adds a little bit of shine to it. If I make it look metallic. I'll have to play around with materials a little bit and get used to it. And then I was hoping to find something where it would cast shadows on different parts of the body, but anyway. So yeah, this is the 3D model so far of Matt. I might have to stretch his body a little bit or his legs, but overall, pretty happy with how it's turning out so far. That's front view, side view. Yeah. Alright, I think I'll end the stream, seize the day, and create something you're passionate about.